Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Where common sense fails. Again. The Extra Show. With your hosts, Chris and Steve.
Steven! Here we are again.
Back.
We are back, and do you know what? We keep coming back,
We do.
whether there's listeners there or not.
We were saying before we started recording that every day is a learning day for us. We are learning more and more about the podcasting world every day.
We are. Well, have you learned anything then of the last week?
Other than, I think, podcasting generally, if you look at it from a properly financial point of view, it's a very winner-takes-all sort of industry at the moment, in the sense that there's a very small percentage that take a lot of income from podcasting. And then there's a lot of podcasts out there that aren't making much money, but are great for like brand awareness. So from a financial aspect, wealth is not evenly distributed across the industry. However, as I said, great assets to any business, I think.
But isn't there also a lot of junk? And I'm kind of could include myself.
I think
in
there's
that.
like 2 million podcasts out there.
Oh, crikey! So when we were charting, and we used to get sent our ranking results, it was telling us that on Apple Podcasts charts alone, there were 29 million episodes.
Just on Apple.
Just on Apple.
Wow.
29 million episodes.
So is that individual like podcast creators?
So what you'll have there is your Josh. Is it Josh Rogan?
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. So why do I keep calling him Josh? He's Joe Rogan. So yeah, he's done how many 1,000 episodes?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, so
Maybe a couple thousand, maybe.
it's including that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Joe Rogan. So am I right in thinking 29 million individual episodes? That's not 29 million actual creators.
No,
Okay. So that could be a couple of million creators.
it could be, yeah.
But
But bear in mind, what's the average number of podcasts? 8.
So here's another little stat for you. If you manage to get to 21 podcasts,
Yeah.
you technically would be in the top 1%,
Wow.
because of everyone that starts podcasting, a very, very small percentage even struggles to get to 20 podcasts.
Yeah. Well, we so now I'm doing so this podcast is under the umbrella of Funky Bear Collection, and so we're up to 15, 16 when you include all of them in there. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we'll get people listening in on
So
this.
we are moving into the realms of the top 1%.
We're not far away, and
If you think about it though, like, I mean, if you did manage to get to the sort of 500 episode milestone or the 1,000 episode milestone, if you think about like what we do, if we do one a week, that's 50 per year, 52 per year. It's going to take a long time to get to that. It take 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of podcasting, right?
it is absolutely it is.
So if you look at it from like a real practical point of view, it's, a lot of people don't have the time to spend,
They don't, but you've got to stick in it.
I would actually suggest though that in the business world, a podcast is a great asset to any business, because you can talk about relevant topics, you can talk about pretty much what you want within that realm.
And yeah, shout out to all those local businesses. Let's see the power of the podcast. I mean, it's like today. So today I have been over in North Wales, and I put on, and this is not narcissistic, everybody, but I put on the podcast and just listened to two episodes of the podcast in the car. It's an hour's drive. So I put the one last one I did with you from last week, and the one I uploaded with Drew, and it's great just to listen to them in the car. It's a way of consuming them. So it doesn't always have to be audio. Video. It can be audio as well, because of the different styles that people can listen. And again, if you're a business and you want to get out there, and you don't want to have adverts for interrupting the radio, this, that, and the other. You can just put this thing on and get your clients to listen to it.
100%. I would probably suggest as well that most people actually would look at video podcasts as more just assets to sort of chop up into social media content. Whereas I would suggest more people actually are listening to audiobooks and podcasts rather than actually watching them.
Because if I'm honest, I use the YouTube, whether you call it a podcast or not, but I use YouTube if I want to visually see something. So if I wanted to know how to mix something, I'd go onto YouTube and see an audio tutorial, a video tutorial on how to do it. So I think it's they've all got the benefits. But
100%. I think, YouTube are going huge on. I'm really curious about this as well because YouTube are going. They've realised that Audible, Podbean, RSS feeds, wherever you distribute your podcast from, are going big on podcasts. Spotify big on podcasts.
Well, I don't know if you've seen. So when I upload our podcast, this episode will be uploaded to Spotify and Apple, but also YouTube. So it's on our YouTube account. So at Funky Bear Productions, it's there. All it has is the cover art and the audio. But if you want to look at it on YouTube, do it that way as well.
Love it.
So it's all over.
If you want to listen to something while you're cooking your dinner or just walking the dog, just get on and download it.
Well, and when we had Hashtag the Life for the people over in Spain, a lot of them used to tell us that. A lot of them used to say on a Sunday morning, they'd put it on in the background, sit outside with have the breakfast, cup of coffee, whilst the podcast was on in the background. They don't have to listen to everything word for word. You just need to pick up bits and pieces. So I'd like to think that people might consume us in that same kind of way.
I think a 5:30 a.m. wake up call, sitting outside in spring morning dew with a nice coffee and listening to a podcast or watching a podcast is quite underrated.
Yeah, and I've got a new feature I'm bringing into this week's show just to try and add that bit of fun. So that when you're listening to this, it's not necessarily all just, oh my God, I've got to listen to everything on it, and concentrate on what they're saying. But also, it's just a little bit of fun. And you'll be pleased to hear, Steve, right, this new feature, I've kind of had you in mind because I'm kicking your ass when it comes to the music. I'm sorry, but you're 2 down, right? I've got another one for you today, right? and I think the one today, I've tried to make it easier.
Okay.
But I still think you're not going to get it.
All right.
So I've brought in a new feature which is going to be similar, but it's going to be based on famous audio clips from films.
I'm determined to get at least one out of the first 10.
Well, and do you know what? I've recorded 6, right? So I might even run through all 6 of them for you, just so to get you on level terms.
I love it. I love it.
Because I think you'll smash it. And also listeners, just listen in on it because I think it's just a little bit of fun. It's that little bit of competitors. And I see it in Steve's eyes. He's quite a competitive chap, I think.
I think, well, I don't think I'm going to win.
He is. He definitely is. Anyway, so today's show, as always, is kind of not really scripted. And to show you that we are kind of freeform, Steve doesn't know this, but I'm going to give him editorial control now. So Steve is going to decide what we do next. So Steve, we have the choice of today's big question. We have a choice of 2 become 1, or we have what you talk about, Willis. So which of those do you fancy doing next?
I'm torn. So out of pure curiosity, I'll go what we're talking about, Willis. But out of pure competitiveness, I'd probably go with the 2 become 1 because I want to win one.
So what we're going with first?
I think we'll go with 2 become 1 first.
2 become 1.
Keep everyone waiting suspense for.
Okay, so this week's 2 become 1.
Okay,
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Where 2 become 1. 2 songs, 1 common link.
Okay, so just to give an update to the people that were listening last week, I played. The answer was Depeche Mode with Enjoy the Silence. and Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. They were the two artists and the two songs, and the link between them was Johnny Cash in the 2000s recorded a Depeche Mode song. He recorded Personal Jesus. And we did get some people sending us messages, which I thought was quite funny. There was one chap, hang on everybody, I'm just going to get it up on the phone. So one person, it's James, is what his name was. And I don't think he's got the grip of it, right? Because unless he's taking the mickey. But he said, here we go, shall I read? I'm going to read exactly as he said it. He said that he thinks it's Depeche Mode and that old guy. Forgot his name, but I'm good for it. And I was like, that doesn't do it, mate. Sorry. you can't try and get a name check. Well, he's now got one. To just come on and say, yeah, it's Depeche Mode and that old geezer. So thanks for sending us the message. But maybe if you give us a bit more detail, the whole point is get the artists, get the song, and you've got to come up with the link between them. Anyway, this week's one. So again, I'm 2-0 up here, everybody.
I'm focusing and I'm ready. I'm totally ready in the zone for this.
He needs to towel down. He needs to sort of get these people around. So, are you ready? Here we go. So this is this week's Two Become One. Oh. Again, everybody, so you can listen to it.
One more time. I know this one. I actually know this one.
Get out of here. He always says it. Every week he says that.
I'm going to go. The first one, I think, is Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Or
So the second one is, I hope you're not using what do you call it to check it on your phone.
No, I'm not.
Cheat.
I'm not. I'm Googling the name of it.
What's Shazam? Hope he's not Shazamming.
I'm not Shazamming it. Shazam.
He's competitive though.
Bruno Mars.
What he doesn't realise though.
No, I don't.
Is when he submits his answer.
I know the song.
He ain't going to know whether it's right or not because
I know the song.
If I tell him what the answer is, then you lot won't be guessing. So he's going to submit his answer, and I'm going to tell him at the end of the show.
Oh.
And don't forget, there is a link between.
I know this. Let it come to me.
All right.
Hopefully by the end of the show, I will know.
Oh, God, listen to that, everybody.
Hopefully it will come to me.
All right.
It will come to me. I know the name and I know the artist. I think I've got this.
Well, look, everybody, if you have got the answer or you want to submit a what you think is the answer, drop us an email or a voice note on.
To get in touch, leave us a WhatsApp voice note
I know
on +44 7503 061 799. That's +44 7503 061 799. Or text us on the same number.
So there you go. He's even had that little intro. Are you going to submit an answer or are you going to wait to the end?
I'm going to go with.
Bear in mind you need both.
Yeah. I'm going to go with. I want to go with Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. I'm going to go with. I don't know the second one, but I'm going to go with Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars for the first one.
That's like rubbish, that anyway. even if you're close, right? The whole point of the show to feature is you've got to get the two of them.
Okay. I'm going to go with Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
And I'm going to go with.
Talk about delay tactics. I should give him a 10-second count.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't.
Right.
The second one isn't coming to me, but yeah, that's my first guess.
Well, keep thinking about it. Should we do the cinema ones? Just so you're not feeling completely deflated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
one of these days, you're going to play like an old Phil Collins song or an old, I don't know, an old, Style Council song or something like that.
Have I got to make it easier? Is that what you're telling me?
It'll just come to me. If it was Paul Weller, it'll just come to me.
Right. So you're my inspiration behind this next feature, because I did think, you know your movies.
Yes,
I think, right? So this new feature is I've called it "What You Talking About, Willis?"
What you talking about, Willis?
And where I got the inspiration for that jingle was in the 80s was a show called Different Strokes. And little Gary, I know his name was Gary, can't remember what his surname is, little kid. And whenever his big brother was talking about stuff, and he'd go, "What you talking about, Willis?" And we just used to shout it all the time in school, if we didn't understand what someone was saying. So I thought that'd be a great feature that we could use. What you talk about, Willis, right? And so this is now going to be just an iconic clip. Might be a second long, might be 2 seconds or whatever, from a film that made it famous, right? And you've got to tell me what film it is, right? I've got about 6 here, right? So this is the starter for 10. I'm going to do these, and I reckon you'll get at least 5 out of the 6.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So it's going to be the jingle and then the clip.
Okay.
Is number 1. Okay. Piece of cake, dead easy. You ready?
Okay.
What you talking about, Willis?
Show me the money!
Yes.
Show me the money!
Come on, Steve.
This is Jerry Maguire. Show Me the Money. That Jerry Maguire is in my, I would say, top 3 films of all time.
Is it?
Interestingly, they don't make films like that anymore.
No.
A really good 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Which is just feel good. Great movie. It's not necessarily a blockbuster hit. They're part of a big franchise, but they just don't make them like that anymore.
I went to see Superman the other night.
Good.
I fell asleep. But
tells the story.
What's out today? Naked Gun 2.
Liam Neeson special.
That I am so looking forward to go see that. So
Did you see in popular news that he's gone public with his relationship with Pamela Anderson?
No.
Yes. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
You are joking me.
Yeah.
Hot off the press, everybody. I didn't know that.
Yeah. She is.
Oh my God.
She is obviously a former bombshell. To some, she still might be, but she's obviously slightly elder lady now. So.
Whoa. Just be careful what you say, mate, because she's about my age.
No. I'd say she's well into her 60s now.
Oh, she's not my age. Right, well done. You've got one back.
Must be hard being 45, mate.
You go off some people. I might just play the hard one now. Right. See what happens when he gets a bit of success, right? he's all chipper now, a bit cocky because he's got Jerry Maguire. The easiest
you know
one.
what? It's my comeback after the 2 become 1 fiasco.
Well, come on, see if you can do a clean sweep then. Ready?
Okay.
Ready for the second one?
What you talking about, Willis?
This is your wake-up call, pal. Go to work.
My favourite film of the time.
I think that's a slightly harder one, actually.
Do you want it again?
Yes, please.
What you talking about, Willis?
This is your wake-up call, pal. Go to work.
I think that is.
Come on.
It's sounds a bit like a young Jack Nicholson.
Again, not bad.
But I'm going to go with... I'm not actually sure. I'm going to go with... Not, ironically, not a Jack Nicholson film. I'm going to go with Back to the Future.
No. I'm going to tell the answer yet because
Okay.
people are messaging in, but
Okay.
I didn't get that one.
Okay.
Here we go, number 3.
I'm through milk kilter a little bit.
What you talking about, Willis?
I feel the need for speed.
Come on.
I'm going to go with Top Gun.
Good man. It's Top Gun.
Yeah.
Woo. I need a round of applause.
I love Top Gun.
Yeah.
Actually, the recent Top Gun that came out,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bit of a letdown, but actually a really good movie.
It wasn't bad, was it? With Val Kilmer before
yeah.
he died?
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell he was very ill.
Yeah. Was it throat cancer or something?
Yeah.
Right, so that's 2 out of 3. Not doing too bad. Ready? Next.
What you talking about, Willis?
Say hello to my little friend.
No. One of the classic gangster films, Scarface.
Yeah, I mean, come on. These are easy, really.
Yeah.
I've set you up to make it
Yeah.
look good. It's going to be hard.
These are home runs. I'm gonna kick myself with the second one.
Well, if you find it, I'll play it again in a minute. Here we go. Next one.
What you talking about, Willis?
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I'm gonna go with, again, slightly harder one. I'm gonna go with planes.
It was that when he says Shirley. Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Air Force One. No.
Well, the only resemblance you've got there is Airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the name of the movie.
No. Airplane.
Airplane.
Ah, okay.
When he was in the cockpit doing the stupid thing. Oh, I got him on that one. I thought I'd get that. I thought I'd get that.
I'm coming to realise quickly how much I hate losing.
Here we go. This is another. I think this is a banker. Are you ready?
What you talking about, Willis?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Gonna need a bigger boat. This is a banker. Why is my mind gone blank?
Come on.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. That was not my impersonation, by the way.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
Come on.
Anyone
It's not Titanic.
anyone who is messaging in about this is going to think I'm seriously stupid because my mind's gone blank. I know the answer to this as well.
Come on.
You put me on the spot here, Chris, but I'm going to go with I need a bigger boat. My mind's gone blank.
I mean, it was before your time. It's a 70s movie.
I'm going to go with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Where would they say you need a bigger
I have no
boat?
idea. It's a random guess. You said 70s film.
I can't even think of your logic behind that
I
one.
know there isn't any.
No, that's it. Oh, I need to get that button in. I
Yeah,
need to get
like Family Fortune
yeah,
style.
yeah. That'd be great. Okay, well, here you go. Here's your last chance to
Okay.
get 3 out of
6.
6. Or
Okay.
something. Are you ready?
So I've got 3 wrong so far. I've
Yeah.
got 3 right, yeah. Okay.
This to swing it so you
Yeah.
get a bit more.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Save some pride.
Save some pride.
What you talking about, Willis?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Did you hear that?
That was a random one. Let's play that again.
What you talking about, Willis?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
I have absolutely no idea with that one.
So I'll because I think it's quite hard to hear that at the beginning. The actual phrase was, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." And the scene is, I'm going to help you out here a bit. So the scene is, this guy's getting mugged at knife point
Yeah.
with these guys, and they get a knife, and he goes, "That's call that a knife? That's not a knife." And he pulls out a massive Bowie knife. he goes, "This is a knife."
Is it The Gentleman?
No.
No.
It's an 80s film. You can tell by the music.
Oh.
I thought that was the hardest one.
My favourite film of the 80s was Platoon.
No.
But it's not that.
It's more of a comedy.
Is it Hear No Evil, See No Evil?
No.
Oh. No, I'm out of ideas.
Right, well, again, listeners, I'm not going to give you the answer, only because, a bit of audience participation.
I think I feel like my brain is quite creative at the best of times. But this saps all my energy of ideas.
It's a shame we're not recording video on this because it started off...
For someone who has so many ideas every day, my brain is like a box of frogs.
Well, he started off so well, guys, and he was dead excited. He was like a little child who just opened up his toys on Christmas. Here we go. Jerry Maguire, piece of cake.
When I heard Jerry Maguire, it was... I love Jerry Maguire as a film.
Yeah.
I could tell you a story about Jerry Maguire as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'll cut a very long story short. There's a scene in that film, and obviously the Show Me the Money scene is a very famous scene, very iconic scene. But right at the start of the movie, he basically gets disenfranchised with the sleazy sales tactics and everything's for the quick money. No one cares about the clients. And he goes home one day and he basically stays up all night drinking coffee at his laptop or at his computer, and he basically types in mission statements. And he's up all night and he thinks it's going to revolutionize the industry. He goes in the next day and makes this grand speech in front of everyone. And everyone kind of stops and listens to this speech. It's very inspirational. And everyone just ignores him and carries on doing what they're doing. He has no impact whatsoever. And only one person turns around, which ends up to be his love interest in the film, which is Renée Zellweger. Anyway, I had a similar sort of epiphany when I had my second child. And I was at home one night. The baby was up. I managed to get him down and I couldn't sleep. And I cracked my laptop open and opened up a Google Documents and basically brain dumped my entire mission statement on a piece of paper. And it was to create and share ideas, because that was the common denominator between everyone we've worked with. Okay. And it turned out to really change the whole direction of the business, and it was inspired by Jerry Maguire. So that's why I love that film so much.
And did your wife therefore say, "I'm coming with you, Steve"? You're looking at you two young lads and you go, "Are you with me?" And they're like, yeah.
I came in and made the speech to no one, but yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was super inspired by Jerry Maguire, because as this film goes on, he faces trials and tribulations, and he finally gets the big contract for his clients.
He does.
After all that time, and I love that.
And I think we touched on this a couple of episodes ago, where I think you do as you get older. When you're younger, you're just a go-getter. You want to get out there, you want to earn as much money as you can, you want to show it off, buy the watches, buy the cars, have the big house. And then as you get older, you kind of go, I don't need that. Right? I don't need all that money. I don't need those watches. Why am I doing it? Because, it doesn't make you happy at the end of the day. And also, you then start to see companies for what they are. Like we said about the drugs companies, they don't really want to cure you because their income is disappearing if someone finds a cure for cancer or a cure for diabetes, right? And I was only talking to Drew on the other podcast. Look at the business model for these dating sites. Sign up for 6 months, for 12 months, and can you imagine you sign up for 6 or 12 months and you find your match in a week, and you go, because I've seen it. Women go, oh, but I've got another 11 months to go. So, although I know I like you, I'm going to stay on it because I don't want to waste my money, and therefore look for other temptations. So, what is the business model there? Because if Match or whatever they're called, Bumble, or whatever, are genuinely interested, they would have a business model that says, if you genuinely get a relationship out of this, which is what we want you to do, we'll refund you the rest. But no, you can't. You signed up for a 12-month, and so these companies are all about the business model for themselves.
They're all about the coins.
They're not really about you.
No.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of business models like that as well. So I don't want to throw Slimming World under the bus here. I don't want to catch a lawsuit off Slimming World. But it's a similar thing.
Are they still going?
I mean, the stats that came out. I mean, and I think Weight Watchers have gone bankrupt.
That's it. Yeah, Weight Watchers have gone bust.
I think partly because of the Ozempic and Mounjaro revolution of the sort of weight loss jabs and all that kind of stuff that people are using now. The business model is to keep people coming back, right? Like, that's the whole model of the business. And if you look at the actual success stats of Slimming World and Weight Watchers over the years, a lot of people did actually lose weight initially and then come back to it because they didn't sustain it. So that initial, they basically, it's like gyms as another good example. Like gyms rely on people not turning up.
Well, yeah, you're in that industry.
Yeah. So gyms as a business model, if a gym has 5,000 members and they all turned up at once, they'd be screwed because they don't have the facilities to handle it. They're actually banking on the fact that not everyone turns up at once.
Yeah.
So actually people using the gym 7 days a week is not a good business model for them. But actually if people use the gym maybe twice a week, that is a good business model for them because they keep them engaged enough.
Yeah.
So the job of a gym is to keep them engaged enough to keep coming, but not so engaged that they depend on it every day.
Well, they were notorious, weren't they, for everyone joining in January and then wanted to quit in February.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you can't. You signed up for 12 months. You can't
Exactly,
do it, you know? So yeah, interesting. Right, one thing we haven't discussed, which...
Got a podcast idea you need help with? Not sure how to publish and promote it? Get in touch with funkybearproductions.com and let us show you how we can help.
Before we come on to the big question is...
It's that time of the show where common sense fails.
Because I'm living the brand.
You are living the brand.
I am living the brand of where common sense fails.
So what's your common sense failure this week, Chris?
Well, so it happened this morning. What do you think to this? It's not really my common sense failure, right? It's others, right? And I'm not going to throw them under the bus. I'm going to give a good shout out to my diabetic nurse who looks after me, because bless him, his name's Andy, and he's an absolute superstar. But I told you the story last week where I went to see the doctor in the hospital, and he thought I was 5'1". I'm 5'11", and he thought I was overweight, BMI of 36, blah, blah, blah. Well, he then sent a letter to my doctors to say how he referred me back to them to talk to me about going on insulin and all this kind of stuff. So I go and have this appointment this morning, and I meet Andy, and he goes, I don't really know why you're here, Chris, because I referred you to the doctor who's the specialist to talk to you about this, and he's now referred you back to me. He says, you shouldn't be seeing me. I went, oh, okay. He says, but don't worry. He said, we'll make the best of it. And so we had a good old chat about what it meant to go on insulin and how it all works and all the needles, this, that, and the other. And then he gave me a prescription. And he looked at the prescription the doctor had given me, which was for some insulin pens. And he went, not quite sure what he was thinking with this. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, he's prescribed you like 12 units. He said, I would start you on 10 units. Okay. He says, and he subscribed you an insulin pen, but with no needles. So you wouldn't be able to actually inject it. So he says, but I'll write you out. I'll write you out a new prescription. So he writes me out a prescription that says basically take 10 units and take it in the evening. The doctor prescribed it in the morning. So okay, he says naturally, he says if you hand them both in, you'll get a good supply of insulin pens. I went, okay. So then I go to the hospital because I need some blood tests. So I go into the hospital. So I've got a couple of common sense failures all to do around my health today. So I go in and I get bloods done every month, right? Nothing, no big deal. But because I'm waiting for a kidney transplant, the guys in the Royal Liverpool send me some forms, and I have to get some special bloods done. And so this girl, bless her, she looks at my forms. So I just handed over the forms. So and she went, oh, okay. And she looks at it and she double counts it. Goes to see her colleague, double counts it. They get, are they called biles? The little containers to put your blood in. 9.
Well,
9. Might as well cut my arm off, right? So she goes, do you normally have this many? I went, well, maybe 3 or 4, but gosh, 6 for the Royal I've got to provide. Okay. And 3 for the doctors that had been seen in the morning. So she's there and she takes 9 vials of blood out of me. I mean, geez, talk about being lightheaded. So I had that done. And then I went.
Give you any like Lucozade or anything afterwards to prop you up?
Oh. So then I went to the pharmacy, which was down the road. And whilst I'm at the pharmacy waiting, I get a phone call from the hospital. Oh, Mr. Saffel, can you come back? Right, why? Well, you need to sign the form on the bloods to say that it's your blood. Okay, never done that before. I know, but it's a new procedure. We didn't ask you. Okay, so now you want me to come back and sign for some blood that I think is mine, even though you could have changed it. Yeah? You're going to ask me to sign for some blood that I can't guarantee is mine, really, isn't it? Because I've been out of the hospital for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So what's happened to it? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'll come back. I'm only 10 minutes around the corner. So I wait for my prescription. There's another common sense failure. The guy at who's dispensing chemist goes, bit confused about your prescription. Why is that? He said, well, you've got one here that says 12 units in the morning, and then you've got another one here that says 10 units in the evening. It's confusing, he says, because, that's quite a lot. He says, and have you had this before? I said, no, it's the first time I've got it. I said, but I do understand. I know why there's a difference. We had a chat about it at the doctor's. Oh, right. He says, it's just that's why I was taking my time, because it's a conflicting prescription. So there's another common sense failure, right? Yeah. So anyway, I do all that. I then go back to the hospital and I sit down and the lady says, right, can you sign for this? And I jokingly said, well, I know it's mine now, right? But I didn't want to have to go and give another 9 vials of blood. And she says, well, can you just sit there? She says, because the transplant nurse wants to come and have a chat with you. So the transplant nurse comes out. She says, hi, Chris. She said, that blood this morning, the 6 vials of blood for the Royal Liverpool, you didn't need to give 6 vials. You only needed to give 2.
Okay. So it's all for no reason anyway.
So I says, well, why did they take 6? And I can only assume because the Royal had sent me 3 forms and stapled them together. I didn't read them, and I just handed it into the girl whose job it was to do it. She obviously didn't read them because it was for 2 this month, 2 in October, and 2 in January, right? And she just assumed do them all now. Yeah. So I ended up giving so much blood, which is now just going to go to waste. So there were my silly where common sense fails. Have you got any?
Well, I don't know whether I've told you this. So my grandmother, who's now 90 years old, she's in a care home. Not very well. She's in the winter of her life, let's say. But around 7 years ago, when I split up with my ex, probably 8 years ago now, she let me live in a house for a year while I sort of got back on my feet. And when I lived with my nan, she just recently come off a brain operation. She was really sort of quite healthy at that point, all things considered. And what I realised was when I moved in with her is she had been given this prescription from the NHS, which was 30 meal replacement shakes every month, so 1 a day, and 500 paracetamols a month. So she...
How many?
500. Yeah. Yeah, 500 paracetamols a month. Why on earth she needed 500 paracetamols a month, I do not know. Most people I don't know what it was. Anyway, she outright refused to take paracetamol. She didn't believe in sort of this medication, whatever it was. She always said if she got cancer, she wouldn't have the chemo. All this kind of stuff. Anyway, so she basically had drawers and drawers and drawers full of paracetamol as a result of this. And I said to her, why don't you go to the chemist, cancel this prescription, because It's obviously costing the editors fortune sending this every month. But she did quite like the meal replacement shakes. So in the end, I took about 100 paracetamol out. There must have been about 100 packets of this paracetamol. Anyway, I said, Nan. She was like, can you go to the chemist? She wasn't driving. And she said, can you go to the chemist and pick my prescription up? This was every Friday. I said, okay. I ended up going and just saying to them, look, cancel it because she doesn't need them. And she was quite livid with me. Bearing in mind, she was about 82 years old at this point.
Livid that you cancelled the prescription. Maybe she was selling on the black market.
Well, she said her opinion was you never know who's going to need paracetamol, but do it in the bedside table of in a bedroom, so no one would ever get hold of them anyway. Anyway, so that was a bit of a common sense failure to me, like off the back of what you just said. But this week, I actually went to Ed Lane to do a content shoot with one of our clients in the concert room this week, and I pulled a Chris Saffel.
Stop it.
So I take great pride in being fully prepared for every content shoot. I fully charge the batteries. I make sure the gimbal is fully charged. The tripod is full, with me, all the lighting set up, everything ready to go. So in the morning, I can just pick it up, take it with me. Get my usual morning Costa and head off to the content shoot, turn up. The SD card's in the camera with no batteries. Okay, what do we do? So I had to basically film the whole content, which, to be fair, it's still going to look really good, but everything on my iPhone.
But did you carry off the confidence that they didn't even know?
They didn't even know. They would never know. I said, I'm going to use this fancy gimbal today. And they're using the fancy gimbal. So that was my common sense failure today. But I suppose the lesson in that is that you can, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Absolutely. Yeah. And learn from it.
Absolutely, yeah. 100%. So not forget the batteries to your camera.
That is coming into it.
If you go out and spend £2,000 plus on a camera that you can take great pride in, do not forget the batteries.
Oh man! So yeah, we are a professional outfit. Honestly, we are. But
also a human outfit, nonetheless.
Exactly, and that's it.
For all your social media needs and big ideas, get in touch with the guys at the Content Room UK. Find us on Facebook and Insta.
Oh well, that was good fun.
It was. Well, I enjoyed that.
That now brings us on to the serious bit, right? And that is.
And now for today's big question.
Okay, listeners. So this is a little bit serious now, right? In that, there's no little quizzes and everything else. But I want to pose today's big question to Steve. And it's all about, in the UK, we have now got a online safety policy, is it? Where people now, they say it's to protect children, right? And it's all about age verification on certain sites. So, porn sites or suicide sites or whatever it might be. In the past, you just had to say, yes, I'm 18. Whereas now you've actually got to submit a sort of a screenshot or a picture of you or a passport or everything else so that you can then get access to these sites. So, the government's been saying it's all about protection and something like that. However, it has one big flaw, and that is everyone's using VPNs now. And if you use a VPN, you can say, I'm in South Africa, I'm in wherever else it might be, and it kids your laptop to think, oh yeah, you're in South Africa, therefore you don't need to have the checks that they have in the UK. So you don't need to verify yourself. Now, I'm not disclosing a gap in the market that no one knew, because everyone's been doing that ever since. So I've been hearing it all over the news. So you kind of sit there and in one respect think it's a common sense failure because they've got good ideas, but it's fundamentally flawed. But also, and this came, again, I don't want to get political, but some people are saying that this is going against free speech. Certain people now are saying, well, why am I being blocked from this? And the government are now getting some sites blocked, because it was mentioned with Donald Trump and Keir Starmer on Monday, which if you haven't seen, everybody, you've got to watch, because it was just hilarious. Whether you like Trump or not, he gave Starmer a bit of a schoolboy kind of telling off, is what it looked like. Basically saying, about how to do certain things. Just that, like I say, whether you like Trump or not, it was quite funny to watch. And someone mentioned that someone had said that what does he think about the censorship of Truth Social? Is it called that? Which is Trump's kind of. What is it? Is
it like his bespoke social media platform?
Yeah, and he was like, "What? Am I censored?" And Starmer, no, we're not censoring anybody. We want free speech. We've had it in this, and yet, you kind of sit there and think they've now got a special police force that's going to be out there tracking your social medias, make sure you don't post any nasty words, all this kind of stuff. So my question is, like I say, do we think the online safety sort of policy that's come out now, is it right? Is it flawed? Is it going to stop things like free speech? What do you think?
I think,
and the reason I'm asking is because it's all around social media as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's big for you. So
100%. Well, there's a couple of things around social media we'll still get into. In terms of the actual thing now, a lot of what I'm seeing on social, just men not being able to basically go on adult websites and do what they do, which is a pain. I don't know the answer to this actually, but what actually happens if you do go on the website and do present your age verification and whatever? Like, what actually happens? Is it protected? Is it submitted to government? I don't know.
Well, and this is, I think, what people are scared of, because the fact that you've got to give your passport or driving license or whatever and stuff. I think some people are quite nervous, because can you imagine some guy going, "Oh, here's my passport, here's my thing, and I want to go on some porn site," and next minute it gets hacked, and your peak is out there saying, "This guy's been looking at this." I think
that's some filthy porn.
It wasn't me, and I think people are more worried about that than protecting kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want mine, because again, I love the way they say, no, your data's safe with us, and the next minute there'll be with all these hacks that have been going out there. I think people are just a little bit nervous about giving any of their personal data.
Well, it's one of them things, isn't it, where like the overarching idea of it protecting kids is like, you can't really argue with that notion. There's a lot of dangerous stuff out there on the internet. And I suppose it feeds back to the whole sort of X/Twitter thing of free speech. People want to shut down X or shut down Twitter, whatever you refer to it as. But it's the same as the internet. You're going to shut down the internet. There's lots of bad stuff on the internet, like there is on X. So if you got the same arguments for the internet as you do for X, I don't know the answer to that again. I'm a bit indifferent to it. Anyway, what I have noticed as well is...
Whoa, can I just jump in there? Sorry. When you're doing your videos and stuff, then do you have to put some age verification on it? I know YouTube says, is it suitable for children? But do you have to consciously do anything?
Not yes. No, literally just click the button, no, it's not suitable for kids, or yes, it is suitable for kids, and that's it.
And what is a kid? Because this is something else.
Under 18.
Right, so, and again, I don't want to go too political, but just throw it in there, is, so people have been saying to the government, so hang on for a second, you want to give the vote to 16-year-olds.
But you're not allowed to publish a podcast on YouTube, which could help a 16-year-old get a job.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do anything like that. Yeah. Or they're not allowed to look at naughty things and everything else, but they're adult enough to vote.
If you take a 40-year-old man who wants to go on a porn site and do whatever he does, like that, I mean, he's not hurting anyone doing that, I suppose. Like maybe, I don't know the answer. But for a 17-year-old kid who wants to listen to a podcast on a certain political topic and get informed about something in your sense, innit? So that's where the argument comes in, right? So I suppose as a net as an overall thing, it's probably a net positive that you are protecting kids. But it's not without its flaws, because you might be punishing the just day-to-day person who just wants to go about his business and do what he does. So, I mean, I haven't actually encountered a website yet which needs age verification, but I use YouTube a lot and I upload to YouTube a lot. So when I'm uploading, the only age verification on it is the fact that you can click a button that says no, it is not suitable for kids, or yes, it is. So maybe YouTube will go down that route. I hope not, because wherever you turn to, it's human nature. There's going to be good and bad in everything, right? Like, maybe I don't want to get into word soup here. I don't really know what the solution to it is, really.
I get it, because you want to sit there and say, you don't want to wrap your kids up in cotton wool, because when they do hit the big wide world, they go, oh my God, it wasn't quite what I was expecting.
And I suppose it's contextual as well, in the sense that if you've got a 12-year-old who doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's very innocent and green to the world, that's different from a 17-year-old kid who might be going through trying to get a girlfriend or exploring different hormones. Like, there's what you would class as a kid is not the same across the whole spectrum, right? No,
and again, I can't really talk too much, but because I didn't experience it. But I guess in the 70s and 80s, I remember there was always a kid in school, always bad lads. Who'd sit there and they go, look at all these porn mags that we've got, and you'd be like, where'd you get them from? And he'd be like, under my dad's bed. And it was like, they bring him into school. And you'd be like, whereas now, what they're saying is kids can get access to that really easily just using a mobile phone. Of course, we didn't have any of that kind of stuff back then.
I mean, maybe I did. I can't remember it. Maybe I never had any formal sexual education as such. I can't remember it in school. I can't remember my dad ever sitting me down and being like, this is the birds and the bees and this is I never remember that. But what I do remember is going into the news agency and on the top shelf of, the page 3 model or whatever.
Well, I have a story, and again, this is I'm not condoning this, right? But this is how I learned, and these are how we learn as kids. I remember I was going out with this girl, so I would have been 18, right? And we used to go and see her best friend, who ultimately ended up being my wife, or now my ex-wife. And I remember we used to go out there every kind of Sunday evening. We had this big farmhouse. We'd go there. We'd have this, that, and the other, go and get some chips or whatever it might be, just having a teenage kind of, time. And she got this video, and it was on Betamax, right? And of course, there was that battle between Betamax and VHS. And all she used to say for years, she used to say, oh, my dad's got this video of my grandma before she died, but it's on Betamax, and I can't watch it. Anyway, where I was working, there was a guy who was ex-police officer, and I was telling him this story. He goes, I've got a converter, so if you want, I'll put it onto VHS for her. Well, do you know what? I thought that'd be nice. Surprise her. All right. So I said to her, do you want me to convert it for you? She went, oh yeah, I'd be loved it. So I get this Betamax tape, give it to this guy I work with. A few days later, he comes back and goes, if that is her grandma, oh my God, I'm absolutely shocked. I'm like, what do you mean? He says, just be careful. So I go on the Sunday night and we go, right, let's go and watch your grandma, shall we? Let's put the tape on. It was a porno. Yeah. Right? And what it was when we dug into it, it's an awful porno. I'm sitting there with my girlfriend and her best mate, and I'm sitting there going, is this your granny? Right? Thinking, Jesus Christ, which one's your granny? And what had happened was her dad, right, had got caught with it by his wife. Yeah. And what's this? Because he'd just come back from Amsterdam, and rather than confessing up, said, oh, it's a video of my mother. And so no one asked any questions. And of course, they couldn't check it. Not until I came. And then I did that. It's like, oh. So that was hard. Yeah, it was a bit like, do you remember Porky's? Mm. Yeah, it's that kind That's how I kind of learned. When I was growing up, when I was 15, 16, we'd all be watching Porky's as a teenage movie.
I think how I learned about the birds and the bees is, I mean, I remember in Bromborough, there used to be this video shop called Jack Beanstalk Video. And it was literally on the sign outside, there was a beanstalk with Jack climbing up it. And you walked in, and obviously there was a load of like movies that you could rent out, and then the top shelf stuff. So we rented, like me and my mates, went to this video shop every week, rented a video house. We had to take it back within 5 days or whatever. And one day we just got hold of this. It was essentially just I wouldn't call it a porno, but I would say it's erotica. It was a storyline.
Don't tell me someone would put it in the Back to the Future box or something.
I don't know how we got hold of it or how to give it to us. But 5 minutes in, you knew that it was an erotic film. And that was sort of my earliest memory of obviously I was young and innocent at this point, like virgin. And that's what I remember. That's the first sort of instance of like seeing sex, essentially.
So are we kind of saying then that this new online
between the age of
policy.
16 and 18, as a male, speaking from experience, you have to go through a process of learning about meeting women, how to treat them.
It's like a coming of age.
It's a coming of age. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. And if you don't know what to do, you end up with like maybe 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are very disenfranchised, who can't necessarily meet women, right? Or don't know how to treat women. So, it's probably a net positive for young people to not be able to access these sites, but as they get to a certain age.
Do you like Mickey Flanagan?
I do.
So, for anybody that
there's a Mickey Flanagan bit, which I love, which I can't really mention on this podcast because it is very crass.
I'm going to mention one, right, which just tickles me, right? If anybody hasn't heard of him, honestly, go onto YouTube and look for Mickey Flanagan Out Tour, and he talks about how when he was a kid and he touched a woman's breast for the first time, he got home and his mom goes, "You've touched a tit." and it's like, because you go in there with this gazed look on your face because you're like, that's the first time ever it's ever happened, and your mom just knows, oh, you've been touching tit, and this, that, and the other, and he is a bit crass, and I am going to say something. I might edit this out, but I'm going to say it anyway. But he says, "You know what? We've lost the art of fingering." Bring back fingering, and honestly, you sit there and you go,
"This is the bit." So if you decide to edit this out, I don't blame you. In that bit, it's like, we've lost the art of fingering. You're all disgusting. Like, you're all disgusting. All you like doing is licking each other's arseholes. Like, no one ever done that back in our day.
Well, I remember.
I love Mickey Flanagan.
I remember, and it's going off topic a little bit, but again, this is all this part of how we learned things back in our day. And I remember,
because you couldn't really go to your parents and ask them.
No, and I remember I was sheltered a little bit because I was in my first year at senior school. I was in Germany, and so I had to go to boarding school, an all boys boarding school. So we used to get the girls in the girls' boarding school would come over, and have discos and everything else. But we were sheltered, right? So when I came back, my dad came out of the forces. We ended up in North Wales, and I was the new kid on the block. What was I now? 14? I was 14, going to school, and I remember going to a Christmas party at someone's house, and it was quite a big party. And I could only put this down to the fact that I was the new kid on the block. I'm the fresh meat, right? So the girls that have probably seen all the other boys, kissed, snogged, whatever, weren't interested anymore because there's a new kid on the block. So they're all out to try and see what they could do with a new kid. And I remember them saying, have you ever played Nervous? And I'm like, no idea what Nervous is. Have you played Nervous? Do you know what it is?
I've never played Nervous, no.
So I'm going back to like 1983, 84. I should be saying this. I might get done up on the on the sex register. But apparently, nervous used to put your hand on the knee, and you'd be like, "Are you nervous yet?"
Yeah.
No. And then you'd move it slowly up and up and up, and and are you nervous yet? And they'd be like, yes or no, right? So I had these two girls, the girl who was running whose party it was, and her best friend, on either side of me. And at that time, the fashion was like gypsy skirt, like lots of layers and stuff. And so I had my hand under their skirts on their knees, and I was just moving both hands up, going, "Are you nervous?" And both of them were like, no. And I had to back out because I got nervous. I got up to their thighs and I stopped because I was like, I'm nervous now. So that's how we learn.
I'm so glad as well that we learned like that. I am really glad, because in this day and age, generally the world is a lot more sensitive, and there's stuff that we were doing back then that you might not get away with now, even though you might not look at it as untoward or anything. And it's probably not untoward, but there's a lot more sensitivity around these sort of topics in certain realms.
But again, who's to blame? Because I'm glad we didn't have what we've got now, right? Because I think it is dangerous to have so much free access to porn and all that kind of stuff for young kids. So I think that's bad, and I'm glad that I didn't have that available to me. But who's at fault? Is it the industry, the porn industry, for doing it? Is it the online providers who allow it to happen?
I'm going to say something controversial here. I don't think the feminist movements have helped the situation, because what the feminist movements inadvertently have been campaigning for is this outcome. They want girls to be more free to do what they want. And as a result, these girls are now turning to OnlyFans. Yeah. Because they're saying that men will essentially pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
So what you've essentially got is women who are so empowered they don't necessarily need a man. And then you've got all these men that are really disenfranchised and can't meet women. So there's a big disparity. But it's kind of inadvertently what the feminist movement have been asking for all along. Now,
that's quite an interesting take on it.
It's a really sort of, I don't want to, like, I would class myself as a feminist. I appreciate the intention behind it. But it's a case sometimes where, I wouldn't say it's not be careful what you wish for, but be careful what you're actually, the outcomes that you're going to get from it.
Yeah.
Because when we look at like male and female roles in society, we're male for a reason. And male have definite biological tendencies, and so do women. And if you look at when we grew up, like I always say this about social media as well. I'm so happy that we grew up in a world where we've had a little bit of no social media and a little bit of social media. So we've kind of know. It's like my kids will never know not having social media, which is kind of scary in a way.
What's it going to be like in 20 years' time?
Well, this is the thing I wanted to cover today. So, and it kind of ties into this topic. ChatGPT on Monday brought out agent mode. And agent mode essentially allows you to take over it allows ChatGPT to take over your browser and complete tasks for you in your browser. So for example, if you have a Excel spreadsheet that you want completing, it will do it for you based on commands. If you have a Google document that you wanted writing up, or Microsoft Word documents, you'll be able to do that. If you have a CRM that you want tidying up and building out, and putting things in different lists and things like that, it will do it for you. I have done it now where you can scan on your desktop all the social media channels for all the weekly trending topics, and you can schedule it in your calendar through ChatGPT to run that task every single 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever you want, and it will give you a content calendar based on what is trending at the particular time. And I'm not having to do a thing.
Hang on then. So could ChatGPT be used to get around the online?
You have to physically log in. So for example, if I say to ChatGPT, agent mode, I want you to go into my Gmail accounts and I want you to scan the last 5 days of emails, discard any newsletters, offers things that I don't need, but prioritize all the ones that I've got important tasks on and set them up as tasks and put them in a planner for me. I have to it will present it on ChatGPT. I've physically got to actively log into Gmail to do that. And then I've got to give permission to ChatGPT to scan through all that. It says, it comes up with a notification when you do this. And it says, ChatGPT will not take any screenshots. ChatGPT will not expose any emails or any other person's emails.
It says.
However, it does have this like warning on the bottom that ChatGPT, it may put accounts at risk of certain things, and you've got to agree to it.
Oh man, that sounds a bit too scary for me.
It is. Like this week, I've been seriously mind blown by this in a positive and negative way, actually, because it's done some tasks that would have took me weeks to do in the matter of minutes, literally. It's made me more aware that how it could displace jobs, and there's going to be a big thing with this on online security.
Scary.
Yeah. I don't want to sound sort of morbid, because I actually think AI as a whole to humanity will be a net positive. I actually do. I'm quite an optimist. I'm kind of a glass half full with it. But with some of the aspects of it, it's going to be...
It's like anything, isn't it? I mean, when social media was initially set up, Mark Zuckerberg did it to get in touch with his mates from university. Yeah. Didn't think it'd probably turn into what it is now.
100%.
And it's the same with AI when it first came out. Didn't they? I don't know where it was, but didn't they have two computers that started talking to each other in their own language? They'd learned to communicate with each other without any human input on a language that no one else understood, because they'd learnt it.
Yeah.
Now that is it, and they apparently unplugged them and went, "You're stopping it there and then," because that's when it gets a bit iRobot. You know what I mean? And
I think it will. I mean, I remember when ChatGPT 3 came out, everyone was kind of like enamored by it. Everyone was using it. And then when ChatGPT 4 came out with the upgrades and everything it can do, everyone was like, this is unreal. This is going to be, life-changing for everyone. And within a week, everyone just kind of went about their lives and got on with things, and nothing really changed. Where I think it will get really, really interesting when it gets to the point where it's ChatGPT 20, 30, 100, 200.
I'm not going to be there.
You know what? I think you will be.
Oh,
I think there's going to be definite. Like the speed of implementation with this stuff, and the speed of how much it's learning and what it can actually do. When you look under the lid, I think it's going to happen a lot faster than what people are anticipating. And I think governments need to be very, very careful with this. And I think it's going to be a real sort of political, it's going to be a real, I think upcoming elections will be won and lost based on AI regulations.
Oh.
I think it's going to be that powerful.
Scary.
Yeah, scary. But that said, I am quite glass half full with it. I actually think it's a net positive.
Okay, well, look, listeners, if you have got any thoughts, feedback, or anything on today's big question, drop us a line, right? Let us know, because I would love to hear what other people have got at that. I mean, we only scratched the surface there.
If you have used Agent Mode and ChatGPT, I'd love to know your working experience of it. I'm going to expose Chris to it and show him what it can do.
If it makes me look handsome, then I'm up for it.
Can't look more handsome than you already do, mate.
Right, let's have an end of that story now. So, Steve, anything else, or is that it? I'm in Spain next week, so we might not do one. I'm happy to do one remotely.
I'm happy to do one remotely. I think in terms of where the Common Sense Fails podcast is at, we are learning all the time. We are always kind of eking out improvements, and I suppose the thing that I'd leave this on is watch out, because me and Chris are really going to pump our heads together over the next few weeks, and we're going to be moving the needle forward. So if you are listening to this, we are in the very sort of early stages of it, and it's going to become something amazing. I know it is.
And get involved, because I really do think, again, Steve's going to get tired of me saying it, but when we got ranked, in that top 20, you don't know the power of the people around the world that are listening to it. I mean, we've just uploaded our last couple of episodes. I haven't even been up 24 hours. And we're having people from Hong Kong, Virginia. Do you know Virginia and New York? Right? We seem to be a hotspot there at the moment because people there are listening to us. So yeah, get involved. Either through coming on as an interview, sponsoring it, putting an ad out. Just get involved because you know what? I think it's starting to go places. We're starting to get a bit noticed, which is exciting.
I think so. I'm excited about it, and I've really bought into this project, and I can't wait to see where it gets to. But come along for the journey. Subscribe, like all the stuff. Share it with your friends. Do all the good stuff you need to do with it.
Now, at the end of the year, if you do get to this part of the show, you'll hear my little jingle at the end talking about Funky Bear Productions and everything else. I'm going to set a challenge to Steve that says, within the next week, for the next episode, will he have the Content Room jingle done?
Will I have the Content Room jingle done? I'm going to try.
So that we can put it on, and he's showing us his creative skills of creating a jingle, and we'll put it in the podcast.
Yes. And we'll see how it compares to the normal podcast, yeah? Normal podcast jingles, yeah.
Yeah. Right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
So long, friends.
See you later. Bye.
Over and out.
To get in touch, leave us a WhatsApp voice note on +44 7503 061 799. That's +44 7503 061 799. Or text us on the same number.
Got a podcast idea you need help with? Not sure how to publish and promote it? Get in touch with funkybearproductions.com and let us show you how we can help.
Brought to you by Funky Bear Productions. Follow us on our socials @Funky Bear Productions.